going to experience is change of a kind that we have never seen. And that is something that we need to prepare for. Now, I have given you the variable factors, but I also want to give you some numbers so that you understand how big this change will be. Today, we are a little bit less than $4 trillion economy. Okay. We expect in next few years to cross 5 trillion. When we do that, we will become the world's third largest economy. But, by the time we reach, by the time we reach Amrit Kal, we are confident of minimum being a 30 trillion economy. And in fact, there is a Goldman Sachs study to say that by by the time you will all be younger than me, and we will be second, possibly, who knows, usually Indians are never happy being second. But we will definitely be the second largest economy. That we would be in excess, according to Goldman Sachs, of excess of $52.5 trillion economy. So, if you just look at the numbers, look at the scale of change. Virtual meeting G20 at the forefront of the new ones. Now, so far, what I have told you is like the material aspect. Okay, मैं road की बात कर रहा हूँ, airport की बात कर रहा हूँ, technology की बात कर रहा हूँ. But the world is full of human beings. So they also say, what kind of people are they? Because when we speak about Viksit Bharat, the world will watch what is our behavior, what is the outlook of these people. I think today, probably more than ever before, at least in living memory, the talent of India is actually today getting tremendous recognition. I just saw today in one of the newspapers, I was coming to the university, and I saw that there was a big article that there were now more Indian students in Germany than there were Chinese students. Now, why this was interesting was, in Germany, they go outside the country and search, they recruit students and bring them to Germany. Now, in the past, they used to focus on China. Today, they are actually focusing on Indian students, which is why the numbers have gone up. Now, when I look back on foreign excitable people who are having big debates in the country right now, and the issue right now, all our minds are looking at is about our future. Now, people normally think of future माने अगले महीने, अगले साल, 5 साल, 10 साल हो सकता है. I want today to talk to you about the next 25 years. The next 25 years, which is your future, which we know as our Amrit Kal, which will be the journey, our yatra to Viksit Bharat will be in these 25 years, and you are the people who are going to make that journey. Now, in recent times, there has been a lot of talk about Viksit Bharat, and I want to tell you very frankly, please don't think it is a slogan. It is not something which is said to प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए नहीं है. It is something very serious we are talking about. And the reason why today we speak about Viksit Bharat with great confidence is, in the last 10 years, we have actually created a foundation from which this country and your generation will actually move towards Viksit Bharat. I can tell you, as someone who watches the world, who deals with the world, and who has seen other countries. I've lived in other countries, I've lived in America, Japan, Russia, China. I can feel today that we are actually at the point of something very big. So to show the world that democracies deliver, that democratic exercises produce results which are good for growth, which are good for development, which create a country which the rest of the world is very, very comfortable working with. That is why I believe today that the world is not only watching us, I think large parts of the world actually wish us well. That many people, I was with Prime Minister when Chandrayaan landing took place. हम लोग अफ्रीका में थे. And the sentiment in the room, there were about 40-50 presidents and prime ministers. Most of them felt, ये landing जरूर आपका होगा, but गर्व जो है, we also feel the same along with it. So I want to share that sense with you. There will be some odd people here and there, कोई पेपर में लिखेगा, कोई यहीं आलोचना करेगा. That is natural. That happens in a world of many opinions. But we Indians today should be proud of what we have achieved, should be ambitious about what we want to do, where we want to do. We should be confident about this journey towards Viksit Bharat that we are embarking on. And that sense, most of all, must come with you, because as I said, that next period, that 25 and the year beyond, that is your era. Our generation's responsibility is to create the foundation. That is the best we have done for you. But I am very, very confident. I mean, whenever I look at the youth of India, I feel actually that the country has tremendous possibilities. And I think today for me it was one more opportunity to reaffirm that sense. Once again, really thank you very much for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. And so I would tell people, because today you all have many more choices. I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that I was in the government, I was in the foreign service. If people ask me, would you do it again? Yes, of course I would. But I would also say that many of you also have many other options and choices when I look at the possibilities. So follow your interest, follow your passion. I would say that would be my advice. That other question, Prime Minister, so I think you want me to think a little bit, I can still give you the same answer. So I think the answer is obvious, and you know that when you ask me. But I would only say this. As someone who was in government, who has no political history, who was, अगल बगल में family में कोई नहीं है in politics. I tell people, only the current Prime Minister would have made me Foreign Minister, but I would have never entered politics were it not for this Prime Minister. If that same because my sense today of what he's trying to do for the country, to such a person you cannot say a no when he asks you. And when it comes to foreign ministers, again, it's very interesting. I joined the foreign service when Atalji was actually the foreign minister. So I have seen since that period. But all of them, and many of them are people I've known very personally, very deeply. Some, one was even my boss in foreign service. But I would say to me, the one I remember most frequently, not only affectionately, but I would say in terms of that bond of working, was actually my predecessor, Sushma ji. That what I learned from her, what I learned working with her about how, you politically actually manage things. Because I was a secretary. And in government, the minister secretary ki jodi jo banti hai na, that is actually determines how good any ministry is. That is, because it's like a COO and a CEO, jo bhi aap kahe. And I found that 3 years that I worked with her, and then of course I stayed with her in close touch even afterwards. So for me, actually, when I think of a foreign minister, she is immediately the person who comes to my mind. On the uniqueness issue, see, it's very interesting. If we go around the world, most countries actually have one language. Even if there are other languages, उन्होंने एक को dominant किया हुआ है. Actually, most of them have one religion. Most of them often have a single ethnicity. They माने standardize कर देते हैं. We are very actually unique. हमारे यहाँ जो diversity जो है, and the space that we give to each other, and the way we are able to, accommodate each other and fit into each other, and then what comes up. So I actually believe somewhere that culturally, civilizationally, we have some inner confidence and belief in Bharat, which allows us to give space to different expressions of Bharat. And this is very difficult for the world to understand. That, one of the interesting things I used to do when I was a diplomat, हम लोग जो हैं हमारा नोट ले जाते हैं, currency note, and then currency note निकाल के we would show people how many languages the currency note has. Other countries, people are very, very impressed. They are very baffled by this because very few countries. I mean, I in fact would really struggle to think which other country would have more than. There are one or two which would have more than one language. The purpose of the quote which you read out was like a वो किताब की निचोड़ थी एक किस्म से, that this is actually what we want to do, and that's and a lot of it I think has actually happened. Okay, one or two may have been a little bit more difficult. On the second one, that diplomacy, how does it look? It grows. It is not something which immediately and instantly practice hota hai. I mean, you join the government, आपकी ट्रेनिंग होती है, लोग आपको समझाते हैं, अनुभव होता है, अलग अलग जगह जाते हैं, गलतियां हो जाती हैं कभी कभी, you try and learn from it, you have good seniors वो आपको mentor करते हैं. So there are different ways by which this evolves, but I come back to it again. अगर interest होना, see in my case I started after science, bachelor's in science, I moved to master's in political science and then other degrees in international relations. So मुझे subject में interest है. मुझे लगा, I mean one of the reasons I joined, I sat for UPSC was I felt भाई पढ़ने के बजाय कम से कम let me get some action also, कुछ कर तो ले, why should I read about other people doing anything? So once you have that interest, you have that desire to keep improving yourself, this kind of ability in you or that tendency will actually grow with time. On this, these two questions actually are somewhat similar. कहाँ dominant होना चाहिए, कहाँ helpful होना चाहिए, or you ask saying, when are you nice to people and when are you not so nice to people. It depends on the situation. I would say as a person and as a country, most of the time we should actually be reasonable with people. We should explain to them, these are our interests, भाई आप लोग समझिए इसको, हमारे हित हैं, we can find a way. So you try to reason with people. But there will be situations when other person behaves very unreasonably, कि वो आपकी बात नहीं मान रही, या कुछ agreement था, कुछ सहमति थी, उसका उन्होंने उल्लंघन किया, या कभी कभी जो मेरे साथ हो जाता है, लोग वो because उनके यहाँ समय पुरानी आदतें हैं ना, so they kind of think अच्छा चलो उसको स्टूडियो बुला के let us put him under pressure. Now when you feel that the intent of the other person कि वो आपकी बात सुन नहीं, उसका लॉजिक उनको कहीं बैठ नहीं रहा, then I think it's important to push back, because at that stage if you continue to be very nice, they don't take it as nice, they think it is weak. So where I would put your own question like this, you have to be nice until you feel they think nice is weak, इसको आप बंद करो. Now you have to be very clear, don't
test us, don't test us beyond this. And the second, even sometimes people give some comment, some assessment. Again, they are used to it. For many years, things have been said about India, and nobody has replied from India. So they feel that ये free में होता है, इसकी कोई कीमत नहीं है. You can do it and get away with it. So when there is a pushback, then they also become a little bit more balanced about what they say. So that last question about redesigning the world. See, in fact, I would give you a thought for your consideration. Just think, if partition of India had not happened, who our neighbors would have been. But that's a different issue. I mean, look, there are countries with whom it's much easier for us, for a variety of reasons, to get along. I would not pick and choose jo hai wo hai. You have to, as I say, neighbors are given by God. You have to deal with them the best that you can. So I will actually evade answering your question. So, but